Last month, more than 2 million people bought health insurance through healthcare.gov. The number of new enrollees is 29% higher than last year at this time.
And the new numbers suggest that the threat of a larger penalty may be motivating a lot more people to get covered. Joining us now to talk more about this insurance specialist is Craig Gusson. Craig, welcome. So did the stiffer penalty this year, which went up dramatically, did that force more people to get out there and sign up this time?
You know, you think it did. People will look at Massachusetts because they were the first state to do that. And they found the higher the penalties got, the more people would get attracted to buying it. I think it has to be part of that. And other people are thinking, you know, I may need to use it. And they're getting it. And again, we got to look at the whole numbers, because how many had it before somewhere else and now getting it through Covered California or on their own. So a lot of these numbers sometimes come out to, how do we really know they didn't have insurance before? The only way you find out is if you put on your application, and if you just happen to skip it, we don't know. But I think the higher penalties, I've been told, is one of the reasons why you're seeing that increase.
All right, let's talk about the penalties for a moment. For people who didn't jump on the bandwagon, who didn't get their health insurance, what kind of penalties do they face?
They're looking at $695 a year, or 2.5% of their income. Family is going to be $2,085 is the worst case situation. So you're having people going, you know, I was thinking about that today when I got the call from you guys, and I'm thinking by February 15th, I've already paid out of pocket for health insurance about $2,100. So if I didn't pay health insurance, I could pay the fine and the rest of the year be saving a lot of money. However, if I end up in a hospital, if I have my appendix out or something happens, I'm going to end up with a major bill. I'm going to have to pay it some way. One of the reasons the healthcare reform law came into play was a lot of people who had to go bankrupt, they were saying, that because they couldn't afford health insurance. Well, now they can do it. And those people are going to have to go bankrupt if they run into that situation, because the government is not going to make them get health insurance. And what they did is they put a timeline on it. Your last day to buy health insurance in 2016 is January 31st. You call me up February 1st, it's a day late, there's nothing I can do until next January.
Have you seen any numbers on the exact number of people who didn't sign up, who said, no way, I'm not going there? You
know, I've seen in the past, off the top of my head, I don't remember what it is. I do know that you're going to get this probably 15 to 20% ratio of people who aren't just going to sign up. They're going to go, why should I spend the money? You know, I read an article in the UT today, in this morning it was in the paper, about someone who said, I'm not getting health insurance because the health insurance would cost me like $2,500 a year, and it only cost me like a $1,200 penalty. And I get it if you don't use it. You know, we all have automobile insurance, we all have insurance on our homes, because just in case what happens. But what are you going to do if you're in the hospital? Yeah. How are you going to pay for it? Because if you're in the hospital, you're not working, and you have no money coming in. I mean, it's a bad situation. You're going to end up going bankrupt if you hit that big bill, and people don't realize it.
You're really taking a big gamble, is what you're doing. What kind of changes can we expect for the coming year with the healthcare law? I know, you know, it's still, lawmakers are still threatening to overturn it or change it dramatically. What do you see on the horizon?
It's funny you mention that. I don't really care what happens in Washington, D.C. It won't affect California. We became a state exchange in the very beginning, which means regardless if they get rid of it in Washington, D.C., it's not going to affect California unless some special law passes that changes everybody. But it isn't. And I just think that people have to understand it's here. It's never going to go away. I don't care who's in the White House. It may be changed and it may be massaged to a point where we offer more plans, give more. But people have to understand, if they buy health insurance, worst case situation, you're going to come up with $6,500 on a major claim. That is a lot cheaper than having to come up with hundreds of thousands of dollars. And if that happens to you, you don't have health insurance, and you own a home, the hospitals are going to look at you and they're going to get a lien on your house. You had an opportunity to buy it. You have to buy it between November 1st and January 31st, and if you don't, you can't buy it. There are some exceptions to it. If you lose coverage during the year from a job, whatever. I recommend to people, if you don't have health insurance, talk to your employer. Work out something because of the tax ramifications because you're paying it through your job. So there's a lot of things to do, but you got, you know, today's the 4th, you got 27 days.
Yeah, 3.5 weeks to meet that deadline.
Right.
Craig Gusson, always great to see you.
Good to see you guys.
Thanks.
Good.